back to our course on transformational leadership, strategy, and governance. So we just took a look in the last module at some of the qualities needed for a leader to facilitate emergence. What we're going to do in this module is give us some more practice about how we might actually go about that. How do we, as leaders, sit in the eye of the storm as it's whirling around us and still enable ourselves to make the kind of clear decisions that are needed at this time? So in this first session, we're going to do a little exercise to try to get a feel for what that might be like. So this isn't a session for you to do when you're driving back home or sitting in the train. You could, but you'd be likely to miss your stop or miss your turning. So I suggest you do this one when you've got some space, where you're not going to be disturbed for 10 or 15 minutes, and you can sit quietly, just listen and tune in to what we're doing here. So what I'd like you to do for this is make sure you've got somewhere you can just sit in a relaxed fashion. Nobody's going to come knocking on the door. And you can either, as we go into the exercise, if it helps you to concentrate by closing your eyes, that's fine, or just look at the image that we've got here on the screen. And we're going to focus on what we're calling the ground of being. And the reason we're doing this is because as we come into a place of relaxation, it helps us to not get distracted by all the complexity that's going on around us, to stay clear and stay grounded and be able to discern where do we need to put our attention amidst all of the stuff that's going on. What can we just let go and what can we focus on? And where do we take the next step? But to do that, we need to get into a space of clarity so that we can see where we really need to put our attention and what's more of a distraction. So I'm going to give you a taste of what that might be like. And in your personal development modules, you can go and look for other exercises to do that might help you develop that quality. Or you can come back to this exercise and do that a number of times again for yourself if it helps. So make sure you're sitting comfortably, either on a chair. You could also be sitting on a cushion on the floor if you like. And just become aware of your own posture, the way you're sitting. Just become aware of your body sitting on your chair or your cushion. Feel yourself sitting there. Notice the weight of gravity pulling you down towards the center of the earth. And just notice for a moment your breath. Just notice how you're breathing in and breathing out. You don't need to change anything in your breath, but just notice it. Notice it going in through your nose and out again. And just take a few moments just watching your breath. And as you do that, you'll become aware of various noises around you, of my voice, of maybe some chatter in your mind, maybe some thoughts that you're having. Maybe there's a little voice in your head discussing what we're doing, making some comments. And that's fine. So as you're sitting there, starting to relax, watching your breath, just notice the noises around you. And just notice the chatter that may be going on in your head. And just allow it to be there. And notice that as you pay attention to that chatter in your head, maybe little thoughts that you're having, that it's you noticing the thoughts. So that means that you are not actually that thought, because the you is the one who is witnessing the thought. So you can choose whether you want to pay attention to the thought or not. That's completely your choice. And I'm going to invite you for this exercise just to allow the thoughts to be there, but don't get distracted by them. Allow them to come and allow them to go. And keep bringing your attention back to your breath and your body. Notice how your body's feeling as you're sitting. So when we're in this kind of a space, we always have the choice as to where we're going to put our attention. Which of the things that are going on around us are we going to choose to pay attention to? And which are we going to choose to let go of? Of the various thoughts we have, the various feelings that arise in us, we can choose to pay attention to them or just to let them be there and focus on something else. And the ability to do this allows us to be in environments where there's a lot going on, where a lot is being asked of us, a lot of different stimulation, potential stress. And if we can keep coming back to our center in this way, that quiet spot inside where we remind ourselves that we are not any of that noise going on around us, then it allows us to stay calm, focused, and profoundly alert in a relaxed kind of way to what is going on around us. To begin to notice that subtle order we were talking about in the chaos. And that space that we're accessing when we come back to this simple center is what we might call our ground of being. It's the space which holds us in our daily lives as we're running around. It's like this big ocean that we're resting in. And all the things that we see around us, all the thoughts that we're having, all the emotions, they're just like the waves and the ripples on the ocean. And we can choose to notice the waves and the ripples and dive into them and enjoy their playfulness. And we can always bring ourselves back to this ground of being, this deeper ocean that lies beneath the surface manifestations. So just notice for yourself that as you find your own way to connect to this ground, how your body can relax. It's like being able to just completely hang in a hammock. Feel yourself supported. Because fundamentally, in this space, in the ground of being, nothing actually happens. Everything's just there. And we're able to just accept whatever is there for what it is. So we stop struggling. We stop resisting what's there. Because there's nothing we can do about it anyway. It's there. And as we allow ourselves to accept that, whereas normally we might be resisting things we don't like or feeling worried about this or that, there's actually no point in worrying about it, because it's not going to make it go away. It's all just there. And if we can just allow it all to be there, then we can really be in connection with what is there, what is present right now, and what that has to tell us about what a natural next step might be. So we're not worrying about the future. We're not trying to make sense of it all from the past. We're just meeting everything that's there with an open heart, an open mind, and just seeing it for what it is in this moment. So stay aware of your breath. Notice your body. Bring your awareness back into your immediate environment. Notice the sounds again that are around you. And just in your own time, you can come out of this state. Have a little stretch maybe. And know that you can always come back here. This is a state, a place that's always accessible to you. So any time that you're feeling stressed, that you don't know what to do, that there's too many choices, there's too many things going on, you're getting distracted, you can just take a moment to reconnect to this ground of being that's always there, never goes anywhere, and it's always there in you. You just have to choose to connect to it. If you're not familiar with these kind of practices, then it'll help you to connect to it by just taking some time every day, maybe first thing in the morning or just before you go to bed. Just a few minutes, doesn't need to be long, 5 or 10 minutes to reconnect to the breath and become aware again of this space. And that'll get your body and your system and your mind used to it, which means that as you're in your everyday work or busyness, that you can just call it up at any moment and connect with a radical clarity to what is really going on in the moment. And that will help you to see more clearly and to take decisions that are more relevant for exactly what is needed right now. And that will serve the bigger process that you're a part of. So we'll leave it there for now. And in the next session, we're going to explore what happens once we've connected to this ground. How does life then start to move us? How do we stay connected to the natural process of life from this fundamental place of trust and being that helps us stay present to what's really true now?